Welcome back, guys. So I'm going to do a video of the Blue Bowl. Little tips and tricks that I did. We'll talk about the dream mat here after a while. Hose that came with it. I used this real big bin. Fittings that it came with, I threw that out. Much good at all. The Blue Bowl is good. It can be a bit finicky. I did some modifications to it to get it specific ways to level it. Mine came with the SPX Flow 750 gallons per hour. Typically that pump will run on 12 volt battery. I've got batteries that I can run this on, but I bought a transformer on Amazon. It's a 120 volt input, 12 volt DC output, 6 amps. So you can buy one of these. I bought this thing for I think $6 or $7. I modified the end of it, put some round terminals on the end of it so that I can hook the alligator clamps to it. So, but I'll tell you what, I'll get some water in here. We'll get this puppy started up. I'm going to do pay dirt that Toby gave me. Garage prospecting here in New Mexico. With the clamps that come with this Blue Bowl, they don't really, they kind of clamp down like this. But most buckets will have a lip or something like this in here. So I went and modified the bucket. I cut a little notch out so the clamp would fit better. And it's kind of nice. Either you'd really want, if your buckets don't have lips like this, you really kind of want to mark where you put the feet, because at least when you have them cut out, you kind of know the orientation of where they're supposed to go. So it kind of makes it a little bit easier. The bucket here, get some weight on it so it can't move around. I think that was about 8 gallons. We will give that a shot, get it set up, see if that's enough water. The hose they sent with you with the unit is just, it's a great hose, but you know, I wish they would have given at least another 6-8 inches to reach all the way down, you know, for the pump. I removed their fitting and went and bought this from the hardware store. It's just because the way fluid dynamics work with this Blue Bowl, it is a little bit tough to try to figure out exactly to make this thing work right. So we'll get onto that here in a little bit. So after you get all the water in, it's time to get the Blue Bowl. When you sit it down, it's got these little feet on here that go inside that little raised plastic circle piece, okay? And these feet turn up or they go down. So part of the problem with the Blue Bowl is once you have the bowl on, you can see that it's kind of hard to get to one side to get it leveled. Now, a lot of folks say, you know, you got to use a level. I don't know where my bigger level is. Okay, you want a good size level to run across here. I'll go get it. But also, I noticed sometimes when I've leveled this here in the spillway, it's not going through the spillway correctly, even though my whole bowl is leveled. So ultimately, I'll grab me a little bubble level like this, set it on the center as best as I can. The setup on this can take a while to get it just right. I really like to usually have this full of water. Preliminary, I'll kind of just get it close, and then I'll jump back in here and put water so it's weighing it down, so it helps level it easier. So we got the first preliminary leveling done, but it really doesn't matter how many times you level this thing right here in the beginning, because you still got to get the hose, the pump, everything on here. And then once the hose is connected, the pump's down in there. That creates pressure. See, also when the hose fills up with water at times, that can drag it down. So like I said, it takes a lot of setup, but we will get to the bottom of it here, and I'll be back. I'll get the hose, the pump, I'll put on here. That's all set up. Another thing I like to do is take this little clamp, pull my pump up out of the water just a little bit. Hold that up out of the water. Sometimes I go up and level it like this, across the 3 points. Okay, that's looking good. We'll do the final tuning. I use either this ball level, or sometimes I break out my little bad boy right here. Get that spillway perfect. We all know how leveling equipment goes. It can be perfectly level, perfectly the way you need it. And so yeah, you really got to take your time on this Blue Bowl. That's the biggest challenge here, is making sure it's leveled all the way around. Alrighty, well, we'll do some test runs. Most of the instructions that you can find anywhere say to run it about a 1/2 inch from the top. The water curves into the spillway. I've ran it several different ways. Put these marks over here. I think you guys can see them pretty good. And the biggest problem with this is you'll load in material, you'll set your water, you'll set your water here, whatnot. And the Blue Bowl takes time. So you kind of get bored sitting here watching it. It's like watching paint dry, and you'll walk off and you'll go do something else, and you'll come back and the water's just running wild. It's running everywhere. And what in the world is going on? Why won't it run properly? Why won't it run properly? It has to do with the material, the friction of the material, because as the material leaves the Blue Bowl, the water will spin faster because there's less restriction in there. And that running wild used to just drive me crazy. I didn't know if I was losing gold. I'd go back through the tailings, have to do them again. At one point I kind of lost faith with the Blue Bowl, because then I would just pan everything anyway. But I ended up finding a solution. And guys, I don't remember what this cost, but it was a bilge pump speed controller from Washington Beach Mining. I bought this, and it gives the pump power through here rather than through here. So even though I put on a new hose bib here attachment, now I don't even need it. Now this just stays open completely all the time. And this is what controls my water. So what I'll do in the beginning is I will hook this up. I will get the Blue Bowl where I want it, probably at about the top of that line, right in here somewhere. These are my different markers for my different speeds that I like. I'll get the water level with the bilge pump speed control where I want it, up high. I'll shut it down. I'll put the material in there, and the water had just been running up here with no material. Well, the second I put material in, now my water level is not going to be up here. It's going to be all the way down here. But as it chews through that material and it departs the Blue Bowl, the water will spin faster and faster and faster, and then it will just go to my desired set point that I had in the beginning. So that sounds like a lot. That's a mouthful. But we'll get into this and I'll show you guys what I mean here. On the bilge pump speed controller again, got a little controller here, as you can see, a knob. You can adjust the speeds. Put a little white mark right there at the bottom of the red. And then I also have other little preset where I like to run. Don't forget a little jet dry. Put a little bit, maybe too much in there, but we'll see what happens. So I've got the bilge pump here on that setting. We'll bump it up to here. This is a much better way to set your water speed than this. They send you this little plastic, I call it a piece of junk. I think I understand why this is plastic. They don't really want to put a brass to plastic because you might run the risk of stripping this out if you're using brass, but I'm about where I want to run. I'd say that's about good. I'll remember the tip of that tiny little line. Sometimes I go to the top of that line. But I've got this Blue Bowl set up where I want it. I got the speed where I want it. It's leveled. I'll recheck the level after I turn it off. I need to get Mr. Garage Prospecting's material. Still kind of creeping up a little bit. Get his material classified because the Blue Bowl, guys, is for concentrate. I know everybody says it's a panning machine, but it's really not a panning machine. You really want to throw material in here that is 30 mesh. Minus 20 is what you want to put in here. So I'm going to go get that material classified. Toby, Garage Prospecting, sent this bag out. It has very little gold in it, he said. He has them on sale over there with him, and they're just for folks who are just learning to pan. So this Blue Bowl ought to just eat right through that material. I'll do some Miller table things in the future also, but in the future, you got questions about the Blue Bowl, Gold Pan Suntan at gmail.com. All one word, goldpansuntan at gmail.com. I'm always happy to help, answer any questions, or be super interested in maybe things you guys have done also. So let me go get all that classified. I'll be back. Here's what we're going to be doing. Garage Prospecting Pay Dirt number 14, New Mexico blend for Gold Pan and Suntan. This package contains some gold. There's no guarantee of the amount, but the gold along other materials from our tailings have been added to our New Mexico blend to make it interesting to pan. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Garage Prospecting. And thank you very much, Shelly and Toby. So very little material. This is the plus 30. Go ahead and pour this in. Couple tools that you're probably going to need when it comes to a Blue Bowl is turkey baster. You can spread the material out. I used a couple different things here in the beginning, and I found getting the material blown out to the outside is best. Get that material all the way to the outside. Looking good. So let's light up the Blue Bowl here. A lot of the lighter material. See a lot of flashing up here. That's not gold, guys. Don't pull your hair out. Most likely that's just mica. And as you can see, I had the water set all the way up here. It's 5/8 of an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch lower. So a lot of people will come in here and say, well, needs to be up here. So then they increase the flow. They go hang out somewhere, come back, and it's spilling over the top. It's because of the friction of the material. As that departs, water level will go up. I'll let this sit and run for a while, and I'll be back after a while. I'm gonna shut this down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Real small one right there. Sometimes in the middle of this Blue Bowl operation, I like to get everything blown back out, get it re-agitated. Got to be careful with these turkey basters too, because material can get stuck up in this bowl and you don't even realize that it's up there. So you don't want to go all the way up. Kind of hard to do that anyway, but all right guys, let's light this puppy back up. Well, looks like it's through that material. It's been about an hour. Half the time I'll just snuffer this up, pan it out. I really don't like taking the Blue Bowl off. Once I've got it set up, I don't like to move it. It's too finicky. It's kind of a pain in the butt to tear down. I did find 5 pieces, 5 pretty good sized pieces in this one here. I want to talk about the Dream Mat Micro Turbo Bowl Dream Mat, the Blue Bowl. As you can see, there's silicone here around the edges because I did install this at one time. I put a very thin layer of silicone over the entire area. Used a plastic knife to spread it around nicely so I would have even coverage on the adhesive. I laid it down in there. Once it was in there, I did a small bead of silicone around the spillway. Then I did a small bead and I squished it out so that it would come out on the edge, and then ran my finger across it here. So that it would stick down. I've heard of guys putting this in the mat, putting no silicone down whatsoever, and the Dream Mat start to get caught and it start to spin. It does need to be glued down, obviously, but I'll tell you guys right now, this darn thing drove me up the wall. I could not get the water level above the ridge of this spillway. I did not have the horsepower behind it, and I pulled my hair out for a long time, and I finally made the determination I needed a bigger pump. And I think that's the solution. I have not gone with a bigger pump just yet to try this. I would like to try this out. I think there is a purpose for it. I think it'll come in handy at some point or another. But my first go with it, I just wanted to bang my head up against the wall on this thing. So be cautious. Comes with the 750 horsepower pump. I'm thinking you gotta bump that up to at least 1,000. GPH, gallons per hour, GPH. This bilge pump speed controller. Guys, I don't remember what this cost. I thought it was, I think it's $30 or $40. So it's kind of pricey, along with the price of the Blue Bowl, the Dream Mat. I think they was $30, $40, something like this. But with a few modifications, the Blue Bowl can do pretty good. I will put all this material in a pan. I will get it panned out here and we'll take a peek and see what we find. So that's what was in the Toby's Bay Dirt for 5 pieces. I'll take this stuff, put it in my stash. This won't go, this goes into a different stash. In my takes that I go out and work, I've got a separate little pile for this kind of stuff. My pay dirt earnings here, my pay dirt findings. But guys, have a good, remember, if you do buy a Blue Bowl, just like any other plastic product, it comes molded. It's got chemicals on there, bonding agents for releasing of the molds. So don't forget to season your Blue Bowl also. Take it easy on it. You don't want this thing too scratched up a lot. You don't want to use real heavy, aggressive sandpaper on it. You want to take it real easy, just with a lot of dish soap and just a sponge that you'd wash dishes with. Get it all down, get all that chemical off. A lot of folks forget that they got to season this type of stuff too. Anyhow, it's been fun, guys. Appreciate you watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, email me if you got any questions on this one, modifications, better ideas. I'm always out and open looking for new stuff too myself. So, all right, we're back at it. Here's the crew: A3, GS Prospecting, Garage, Big Texas, Indiana Creek. Thanks for your guys' stickers. Here's this thing that A3 sent me, a little card on it. And he's got even a couple of pieces of gold on there. So I thought that was super classy of him to send that out to me. I'm going to throw this little bit of gold I found in Garage Prospecting's pay dirt. It's just a play bag. I'm not even sure. I'm surprised. Found 5 flakes in there. I didn't know what. I wasn't sure if that was going to weigh or not. But there's the 5 flakes. 0.026. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the Blue Bowl demonstration. I'm doing a few more. That thing is so particular, it takes quite a while to explain everything with it. But hey, AGM, all gold matters. You guys take it easy. Have a great night. We'll see you on the next one. Gold Pandas, Suntan is out.